Hey, what's going on, everybody? So today I'm going to be talking about Nightcall. Nightcall is a game that was released on July 17th of last year, and it was added to GamePass maybe about a month ago, so I decided to give it a try, and I really think this game is a bit of a hidden gem. So Nightcall is a narrative-driven investigation game done in this really cool noir style. You play as this taxi driver who gets involved in a murder investigation, and you're tasked to use your people person skills as you drive people all over Paris to try and get clues on who the killer actually is. There's a few other elements here, like having to fill up your car with gas and making sure you're making enough money every day so you don't lose your job, but for the most part, all you're gonna be doing is like listening to people talk in the back of your cab and sort of deciding, how you want to talk to them so you can try and get the most information out of them as you can. And that's basically it. At first I was thinking, this is kind of like a taxi driver simulator, not the movie, but, actually just driving the taxi, and you don't drive the car ever, so I guess it's not really, it's more of almost a visual novel, and I guess even like talking to strangers simulator. So really this is going to come down to, whether you enjoy that kind of game or not, but it's a lot more engaging than you might think. I often found myself sort of in a trance while playing this and feeling like I was actually, inside that taxi, just listening to the people talk about their lives. And I was actually really engrossed with their, normal everyday conversations going on, even more so than like what I was supposed to be doing, which was trying to find information and, clues for the investigation. So this game, definitely won't be for you if you do find the idea of like talking to strangers for several hours to be boring. Because honestly, a lot of it actually has nothing to do with the murder investigation. It's mostly just normal interactions and talking about relationships, talking about life, and there's even like some really weird stuff here. Like there's a little ghost kid that'll get in the cab, and there's a cat that could understand you and understand what you were saying, and people from the future saying that the world was going to end, so you had to do a few things so that wouldn't happen. And that stuff, is very bizarre, but the entire game is extremely grounded the entire way through, and it never gave any explanation, to why those weird things were happening. And the dialogue choices you were making also felt very important all the time, so like if you steered the conversation in the wrong direction, they might start to get defensive or annoyed, and they might not tip you as much for the ride, and sometimes they wouldn't even pay you at all if you made them angry enough. But if you are able to, get them to open up and lead the conversation in the right way, you can get major clues into the investigation or develop a closer bond with them. And of course, they might even tip you a lot more. So it's cool that, all of those decisions through the conversations and what you were choosing to say to them really mattered a lot. And the music that was always playing during these rides were also just very hypnotic, and really the entire game just kind of felt intoxicating in a way. I just couldn't stop playing it, and I'm kind of amazed at how much I enjoyed the game and how much I enjoyed the serenity of it all. Now, there are some problems I had with it, but they're kind of strange ones. So at the beginning of the game, you have 3 different stories that you can choose from. Each one took about 2.5 to 3 hours to complete, so you can get quite a bit out of this game. However, each storyline just kind of was a reprint of the other ones. They all had the same opening, they had, the same dialogue, and really the only big difference was that the name of the killer was different for these different investigations and these different stories. The suspects are different though, so it's not entirely the same, but why I think this was a strange problem to have is because the game could have easily just had the one main storyline that was 3 hours long, and I think that would have been a perfectly worthwhile experience. And the other 2 storylines just felt like bonus, so I feel bad criticizing them for, giving us more, but in this case, I do think that more was less. There are a lot of people to meet though, so I only had the same conversations a few different times, but I just wish that at the very least the investigations would have had more variety to them, rather than just, relabeling it with a new name for the killer. But yeah, other than that, this game was a real treat to play. I go into a lot of these games with 0 expectations, and so when it ends up being as enjoyable as this one was, it's a really cool thing, and honestly, it just really made my day. If you have Game Pass, or if you're looking for a game like this one, very laid back and almost like a people meeting simulator of sorts, I think this one is going to be worth checking out. Alright, so that's all I got for this one. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay safe out there, and I hope to catch you in the next one. See ya.